Hi, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Mental Health Show. My name is Edna, and it's always a delight to have you here. Today, we are going to talk about a very interesting topic. I know I said that a lot, but all the topics are interesting, but this one is very interesting. Today, we are going to talk about abandonment or attachment theory. And the little that I know about it is that it affects how we relate with other people. So, as usual these days, I'm bringing for you hosts day in, day out. And today again, we have Tatiana for the second time. And she's going to tell us about this attachment theory or abandonment. Welcome, Tatiana, to Faraja Television.
Thank you.
To the Mental Health Show.
Thank you for hosting me again.
We missed you.
Me too.
How is life?
Life is wonderful. Nice. Life is good.
How are you feeling?
I feel good.
Anyway, Tatiana, tell us about attachment theory.
So attachment theory or abandonment theory, I refer it, in my opinion, like, do you know how the Bible has these 10 commandments, but we have these 3 first commandments, where is don't pray to another god, love your neighbor, love yourself as you love your neighbor. Yeah. So this is also this theory, because when you go to the Bible, it all sums up the entire Bible. It's teaching us about love, how Jesus loved us, died for us, and all that. So at the end, to achieve that is, if you love your neighbor, you're not going to do them anything bad. I mean, if you love yourself and you're going to love your neighbor as you love yourself, you're not going to do them anything bad. You're going to forgive, you're going to love,
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Amen. So attachment theory is, I feel like it's the beginning of all of us, because this is the bond between a mother and a child, or a caretaker and a child, because sometimes some children, they end up with foster mothers, all that. So that's that period. Let me say from 0 to 1 or 2 years. That's the most important period with this. In psychology. So
children easily get attached to
whoever is there. Exactly. So Bowlby is the one who came up with this theory. He was saying that what we go through in those 2 years of growing up determine our relationships when we grow. And he was giving they made examples. They say they put like children in cubicles and they let their mothers go or father, and then they would let strangers come in. So each child would react different. There's this child who's welcoming and will always go to any stranger. But then there are those children who scream and cry because they want their caretaker, they want their mother, the person they know. And then there are those ones that will cry then after some time, just be with whoever is there. Like my children, I used to ask myself, like every time my husband would go, let me say, somewhere for work, and he spends 2 days without coming back, the day he comes back, my children are angry.
They're angry at him?
At him.
What?
They don't want to greet him. Even when he says their names, it angers them. You see, and every time I would ask myself, why do they react like this? Yet for me, even if I go, I come back, I don't get the same reaction. They are, okay, mom is there, they'll come back, give me a hug, But then they do that with their father.
They were more attached.
They were secured, not attached.
Yeah, they were feeling secure.
Yes, they were feeling secure because I'm always there. I mean, I'm a stay-home mom. So every day they know mom is there. Even if she goes somewhere, at the end of the day, she will come back. But then daddy shouldn't go anywhere, because even they have that little time in the night with him, It is very little to them, so they want him to be there. So for him to go somewhere and he does not sleep home or doesn't come back, it angers them. Yeah, they feel like this person they love is not there for them and all that. So when we grow up,
that was going to be my next question.
How
does that whole not interacting
Yes.
maybe feeling secure, how does it then affect our adult relationships, like when we are growing up
Yeah.
and we have to leave home? How does it affect how we relate
This
with
is the
other
difference
people?
now. You should go back and ask your mom. Whenever you would leave home, or ask your dad, how was my reaction? How did I react? Was I okay with it? You know? Because every child has that time. If the mother goes, they will scream, they will do what, you know? But then there's that child that never gets over it. I was that child. You know, my mother told me my grandfather tried taking me once. It was horrible. That same day, they returned me because I cried from morning until evening. That means I have attachment theory. I am attached to whoever that is taking care of me, whoever that has me. You know, if it is my boyfriend, I'll be attached to them. You understand? But then there are those children, mommy has gone. You say, bye, mommy is going to work, because there's that step of, we haven't gone into details, but there's that step of, the child has to get used, that you will go. And that is the problem. There are children that never get used. For you think that you're getting your child get used, but you're simply now giving them the abandonment. They feel abandoned. You understand? They will not understand that mommy is leaving for work. No. They will say mommy is abandoning me. Watch together. You understand?
People who are going to be working well.
It is life. That is the whole point. That's actually, I've been thinking about it, like people who work. It is a problem. So as I was saying, so when my mom told me that, I understood my children, you know, why they cry when their father is gone for 2 days, and when he comes back, even when if they call, they will cry and say, "Daddy, please, Daddy, come back." They have that attachment here. They're attached to him and they want him to be there. Now, when a child has a good attachment, theory, like your attachment is good. Those are the people that are secure in their marriage. Now, when it becomes worse, it's like those kids who the mother said, "Oh no, I cannot take care of my children." You end up taking your child to the boarding. You see? This child, for the last 2 years, knows you. You have decided to take them to boarding. Now, that's when they go to the stage of being abandoned. You know? For you think, I have nothing to do. But then you're putting this anger in them. You know? This anger in them that is going to grow with them, even in their marriages, even their relationships. You know? They'll always have that thing of, if my boyfriend, I don't know where he is, then he's doing something that is not good.
Those are children who have been abandoned.
Exactly. That's when we get to the stage of being abandoned. When you get to that stage of you do not trust anyone. Because even the person that I trusted was not there for me.
So that's some bit of insecurity.
Exactly.
That they are going to leave you.
Yeah, because you see, at the end of the day, even if my children react like that, my husband comes back. So they know daddy is there. Daddy is going to go for 2 days and do what? And come back. But if you raise a child for 2 years, 3 years, and then push them, just say, I am done.
Wow,
what do you think is going to happen?
Wow. So dear viewers, that insecurity that you might be having in your relationship, you remember sometime when I did a video, or if you look back into the videos that we've done on this mental health show, we talked about insecurities. The root cause could be that you have abandonment issues. So you might want to go back to your attachment theory or abandonment. Yes. So you might want to go back to your parents and find out how you reacted when they left you at home, because wow, that's so.
There's something I wanted to add. You know, at the end of the day, you say, so okay, if I'm insecure, I have that. What do I do? That's when you start. You know, if you go to a counselor, they will not just start from where you are right there. They will start from how you grew up.
That's true.
How many children are you? You know, so start looking into yourself. You know, how was I reacting when I was young? How was I reacting if someone took my thing? Yes. You know, and then start loving yourself. Saying, okay, I didn't know that, it happened, it is past. Now I have to learn to love myself, because if you don't love yourself, you're not going to love the person you married, the person who's your boyfriend, your friends. Have you seen those people who your friends, and just if you say, oh, I'm so angry, I'll never talk to you, and they are okay with it, they'll just move on to another person. They do the same thing on to another person. Basically, they do not have attachment completely, because when they were young, they did not get the love from the mother. This theory is simply just between 0 to 2 years. Basically, the most important years, growth of a child, 0 to 2. That's why you're going to give love. That's why you're going to give happiness. And if you don't give them right there when they're young, don't expect to have them when they're old. That's when you have to go to counseling. Now you have to learn to love yourself again, which is a very wonderful thing, you know. So that is it. Love yourself. Go for counseling. It is very okay. Know yourself. Forgive.
Those are people who, like, in order for them, if you have attachment issue, in order for you to have healthier relationships or to form healthier friendships, you need to go for therapy and forgive yourself.
You need to understand yourself.
Understand yourself.
And you need to understand your background. Because you don't just say, okay, I have that, let me just forgive. Forgive what? You need to understand where you are. Because you never know. You know, therapy, people think, when I started this and my lecturers told us we had to do counseling, I laughed. I was like, I have no problems. Why am I going for counseling? I would even call my friends and laugh. Shock of my life. Shock of my life. I had so many problems that I had just decided to lock. You know, most of the times we just lock. Move. Some things you don't want to remember, you're like, okay, I'm over that. But then they'll move with you. So going for counseling and therapy, it's simply trying to understand yourself, to forgive and move and learn. It is not natural to have friends every other time and you're just dumping them. Or your father doesn't call you like, Your mother doesn't call, you're like, whatever. Because they didn't give you that attachment in the first place. Wow. Yes, so learn and understand yourselves.
Thank you so much for that exciting information, yeah?
Yeah.
What are some of the effects of this attachment theory that people go through as they are children? How does it affect their adults, them creating adult relationships or friendships or relating with people in general?
Yeah, some of the effects is it becomes defense. They defend themselves. Then reliance, they rely on themselves. Then avoidance, they avoid, you know. Because if this child is left to defend themselves when they're young, imagine a 2-year-old in boarding with people that he doesn't know. He will not be like the way he was at home. Mommy, this and this. Now this child has to learn to defend themselves in class, amongst their fellow, you know. Yes. When they have issues, they start keeping them to themselves because they don't know who to trust, who to tell, you know. They don't, relationships are not that important to them because the most important relationship a child has is a parent or the caretaker, whoever is taking care of that child. Doesn't need to be a biological father or mother, but whoever that is taking care of that child. Those are the most important relationships that you start with.
I have to ask you from there, what about these kids who grew up with maids? Like maybe the caretaker,
oh
maybe
my God. It's the same story. I remember when we were young, and there was this good maid that, okay, my young brother by then was born when we were all old. I think the last one was some like P2, P5, and then we got a new brother. So he was really young. He couldn't play with us, and he had this maid that he really liked. The only one that was listening to him, you know, do this, do this. So one day, this guy did something bad, and my mother's like, pack and leave. He was actually, I think, the guy the gatekeeper or something. He was like, pack and leave. You know, every time the guy would get his suitcases out to go, my brother would take them back. and he's screaming, mommy, please, don't chase him. Because that's the connection. That's what.
Security.
That is security. Yes. Yeah. And when it comes to now that every time you're changing maids, yet you as a mother, you're also not there, it is affecting our children. You know, father is not there, mother is not there, and every day there's a new maid in the home. The little time they start making that connection, poof, gone. The little time they start making that connection, poof, gone. Yeah. So we should do our best
to be there.
Yeah,
from 0 to 2.
We should really be there we do our best to be there for our children. We should do better.
I feel diagnosed, but we move. We move.
That's the best part. That's knowing that, you know, that's now starting knowing yourself. You're on the right track.
Yeah, no. Anyway, we were talking about the effect. So people, they develop a sense of fending for themselves, defending themselves. So they feel like they don't need people in general.
Exactly.
And that's dangerous. How?
As a woman, I know in the world of women, they are working, women can do anything for themselves, but it will always stay. There's a reason why God woke up and said there will be one king in a kingdom. There will be no many kings fighting for a kingdom. It's only one king. There's a reason why a man is a man. At the end of the day, we can try to debate that every day, but the fact that he's a man is a man.
So this affects women.
Exactly.
When they get married.
Yeah.
They feel like they can't be, how they call it, dependent.
Exactly.
But okay.
Yeah, it becomes a problem. You don't respect your marriage because a man's respect starts from a woman's respect towards their husband, their significant other, showing your husband that you can lead. So if you want to compete to lead with him, exactly where you're going. You cannot be two kings in a kingdom. That's why I keep on saying you cannot be two people that all want to lead. So you need to lead, to let one lead.
Hi guys. And then what else don't ask you? How can people who have attachment theory and abandonment, how can they overcome this whole thing?
It starts from knowing yourself, you know. Go back to your background, understand yourself. How was I when I was young? How did I grow up? Did I grow up with my mother and father? Were they there really? Did I have someone that I felt attached to, that I could talk to? Because you can be there, even if you are working mother, by the way, as long as you come back and you talk to your child, that's the security you're giving them. That even if I leave, I'm going to do what? To come back.
Yeah.
The problem is if you leave and they do not see you. You know? That's when those theories, all those start coming in. So go back and learn who you are. When you learn who you are, you learn to love yourself. You know? It still goes back to love yourself as you love your neighbor. So you start doing good things for yourself, to your neighbor, to everyone next to you, and you will be happy. You know?
That's the self-remedy without...
Exact. You know, most times they say self-love, but which one? Which one? Do you even know which one you really need to self-love about yourself? It could be that you need to forgive, and that's where your self-love is going to come from. Or that you need to look at yourself and recognize yourself and love yourself. You say, I'm enough. You know? I'm enough. I'm good. There are so many things. People say self-love, but they do not even understand which self-love they are really talking about.
Yeah,
they are fighting demons every day.
In a selfish way.
Exactly.
Yeah, society has now spoiled the whole self-love situation.
It is not supposed to be like that.
And it's love your neighbor as you love yourself. So
and heal
when
yourself.
You love yourself, you heal yourself, so you have the capacity to love others.
Exactly. And to be happy, because even those who do it selfish, they're not happy. I swear to God, they're not happy. You cannot tell me they're happy.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, which other way can people be?
Counseling.
So where do we come for us who have been diagnosed?
There are so many counseling institutes, by the way. There is Butabika, but I know most people don't like going to Butabika.
It's associated with mad people.
I am here. There is Mulago. Nakasero has one. You know, there are so many around. Yeah, and it's very normal to talk to someone. You know, our society, African society, really don't respect it. To sit and you start talking to someone. At first, I also felt like I was mad. Like, you know. But then it is healing. It is powerful. Yeah.
Well, guys, if you're like me and you've been diagnosed, please, and you'd like Tatiana's number, just reach out to any of Faraja Television's social media platforms and send us a message. We shall be able to share Tatiana's number.
Yeah.
So, Tatiana, any last word to the
And
viewers?
last word is, if you have children, let's save our generation. We keep on saying, we are saving the generation, but your children, you leave them 3 to 4 days. They don't know where you are. You know, even when you come back home, you don't try to check. Even if you come back home and go to their rooms when they are sleeping, you know, they can feel that touch. Touch on them, you know, cover them. It is okay. That's
Secure.
Yeah, that's the secure we are talking about. That's the next generation we are talking about. Heal yourself. You know, forgive yourself, love yourself, go back, understand how was I raised? Was I a child that didn't like to be left alone, and I got fears and everything, and that's why I'm like this, that I feel like no man can even talk to me, you know? That has been turned into, it is what? Women what?
Feminist.
Everywhere.
Let's not go there.
Let's not go everywhere. But that's the whole point, you know? Feminists that have turned into that fear.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Tatiana, for your
You're
time.
welcome.
It's always a delight to have you here.
Me too.
I'm already looking forward to our next episode and our next time with you being here.
Me
And
too.
as you have heard, please, guys, take care of your children, 0 to 2 years. Make sure you're available and you're present so that we can save ourselves and our children from attachment issues. And if you're like me and you've been diagnosed in this show, please reach out to me. And if you have contact to me, you can reach out to me. I'll share Tatiana's number. She offers, I think, the most affordable therapy I have had. You can go to Nakasero Hospital, Butabika Hospital. Yes, just reach out to me for resources on where I can get therapists. Thank you so much for reaching this far in the show. We're looking forward to having you in the next. Always looking forward to having you in the next episodes. Please don't forget to subscribe, share with a friend who might need this episode, especially moms, mom out there. Please share this video with them, and don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms for your daily news updates. Till next time, bye bye.